human and people's rights, complaining about the Python dance and proscription of IPOB, and he won. The African Commission, which is a branch of the African Union, wrote a letter to the then president calling for implementation of certain things they asked him to do. One of them being that he should henceforth or thenceforth cease and desist from further prosecutions or law enforcement actions against IPOB members, and in particular Nnamdi Kanu. That decision was ignored. The United Nations intervened in 2020 and 2021 with similar decisions. Those two were also ignored. After his rendition, the United Nations intervened again in July 2021 and issued a celebrated opinion that he should be released unconditionally. That too was ignored. Now, a federal high court sitting in Omaha in October 2022 issued a decision condemning his detention, declaring it illegal and non-constitutional, his current detention in Abuja. That too was ignored. Back in January 2022, a high court of the state of Abia had awarded him 1 billion naira as compensation for the damages he suffered or that issued from that infamous Python dance. Payment of that compensation is outstanding. So also is the apology to him that the court had ordered. And then finally, last year in October, a high court in Enugu State declared that the executive or administrative actions taken by the Southeast governors and the federal government back in 2017 to proscribe IPOB and declare it a terrorist organization, those actions were unconstitutional under Section 42 of the Constitution. This is important because all Nigerians are supposed to be treated equally. What had happened to IPOB in 2017 in terms of the proscription was a stark evidence of discrimination, which is unconstitutional under Section 42 of the Constitution. We have been saying that until last year in October, when a high court agreed that that is so. We had figured that in an enlightened society such as ours, which is subject to rule of law, the federal government would have taken steps pursuant to that judgment of October last year to file some sort of an application to withdraw the proscription of IPOB as it is, and to cancel the terrorist toga that is placed on IPOB. Why? Because that very proscription in 2017, being ex parte, did not give opportunity to IPOB or any of its members to make representations as to why it should not be proscribed or as to why it should not be declared a terrorist organization. That offends Section 36 of the Constitution, which required that any law that derogates from the right of any Nigerian, his right to fair hearing, should have given him an opportunity to make representations. So these are the several violations, and unfortunately these violations have led to incalculable damage to citizens of this country, to innocent people, mostly in the southeast and south-south. Hundreds have been killed in pursuit or in law enforcement actions related to fighting IPOB. It's wrong to do all that on a mere ex parte order. Thousands are languishing in detention, and of course, you know, Nnamdi Kanu himself is also languishing in detention following his rendition. So too many bad things have happened, and we're hoping that we'll come full circle to a point where people will sit back, government officials, the federal government, led by President Ahmed Tinubu, to look again at this case and to see whether this case has any merit at all, or whether the case was, as it were, politically motivated to the point that the present administration should not have any business inheriting it. When someone says, I do not want to belong to a country anymore, you don't lock him, you don't pursue him with bullets and manacles and all kinds of things to put him in jail or to prosecute him. You try to talk to him. That, I think, is the more sensible thing to do than this law enforcement that is not going to be the solution to it. Thank you. My colleague now will say a few things, and then we are going to conclude the press conference.
Our fear is the way and manner we are being denied access to him. As lawyers, we are entitled to meeting with our client Nnamdi Kanu, liaising with him, discussing and hearing from him what defenses he has against those charges. But each time we make effort towards seeing him, we are restrained by the DSS.